Hello my friends, it's your brother Zen bringing you another message of love from above, and today's reading is going to be about the new moon in Aries that is coming up in a week on April 11th. It's going to kind of climax around 10:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so depending on where you're at in the world, you can see when that is for you. Aries is a wonderful time of year because it's the start of the new zodiac. It goes to Aries all the way through Pisces, which we just came out of, back into Aries. So it's the first month of the new cycle of all the zodiac signs. So it's a great time for restarts. What's great is that the new moon is always kind of an indicator for new beginnings and new cycles. So, with this being the first new moon of the new cycle, then this is an extra big restart kind of energy to it. And I'm actually recording this on Easter Sunday, which, of course, is all about rebirth, resurrection, and, a huge new birth kind of restart energy. So with these cards here, they are, of course, from this Moonology deck here, which I'll give details in the description box below. If you like the cards and you want to get them yourself, I'll let you know how you can get those too. What's great with, it mentions in the book that comes with this, with New Moon in Aries, is it's a big yes, Y-E-S. So if you were looking at wanting to take action and head in a direction, then this is the perfect time of year to do that with all the energy that's behind you with that. Aries is a fire energy, so that gives you that huge spark to start new things, to transition things, to transform things, to resurrect things. So, perfect time for that. And it gives a little warning though, yes, great energy, go, go, go. You have a big push of yes behind you, but don't go too fast and run over everyone. I just have this picture of someone trying to get through the airport and they're just knocking people out of the way as they're trying to get where they want to go. It's like, nah, you don't want to do that. You want to have that balance between having that movement forward with your strength and that fire, but also don't set the forest on fire in the meantime as well. You will have a choice here between three different cards here. So you're going to have the New Moon in Aries card will be option number 1. And you, of course, can choose as many as you want. Option number 2 is actually the full moon in Aries, which the last full moon in Aries last year was on October 1st of 2020. So this new moon in Aries is the full moon in Aries was when you were like, what am I going to release? What am I ready to let go of? And so whatever you were letting go of and transforming, now it's, it's like you're clearing out the fields of old crops and you're ready to plant, new seeds into there. So just kind of look back maybe at what you were going through back on October 1st of 2020. And then since over these last 6 months, what have you been letting go of? And then that area of your life, you can look at what you want to plant. And then of course we have the new moon in general, which is all about a new start is coming. So that'll be option number 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And we'll go ahead and jump into number 1. If you chose one of the others and you don't want to listen to number 1, timestamps are in the description box below, so you can go ahead and jump to whichever reading you wanted to listen to. And here we go. Right, if you chose reading number 1, the New Moon in Aries, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck here by Colette Baron-Reid. And before we start, I just always love to thank the Creator just for being here with us and for your unconditional love. We're so grateful. We'll also welcome and thank our guardian angels, our spirit guides, our loved ones who are on the other side, our ancestors, and all those myriad of magical beings of unconditional love that exist on the other side of the veil, we welcome you and thank you for being here with us, bringing us the messages for us. All right. So let me shuffle these up here and we'll see what the message is. All right. So for reading number 1, what messages do you have for us today? Okay. You got the Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. So how perfect is that? And this is number 25. So we were just talking about how the new moon is all about renewal, about restarts, about resurrections, about, all of that. And the Garden of Venus, of course, Venus is all about love, and I love the hummingbirds and the butterflies and the heart hanging from the tree. Just beautiful imagery there. And I'm going to put that right there, and we will see what additional message comes from the little book here. Yes, this is the place of all is well, rest and renewal, self-acceptance. It says, when the Garden of Venus appears, you are invited, actually summoned, to return to the pleasure garden of love. It is time to leave the field of battle. Put your sword away. There is nothing you need to defend anymore. Step through the gate into the garden of earthly delights. Bask in the joy of the wish-fulfilling trees and the scent of the healing flowers. You have returned home. You are weary, and it is time to rest deeply and be renewed. Go into this sacred garden alone, as there is no need for another to be present to experience its pleasures. Really, stop looking for the other. Enter by yourself. Allow your senses to intoxicate you. Leave all thought behind. Lose your analytical mind and return to your body. In the Garden of Venus, there is still a pond that shows you your reflection when you stoop down to drink. Who is that staring back at you? Look at who you have become. Rinse your face with these healing waters and practice deep acceptance. Love who you have turned into with all your imperfections and blemishes. The goddess Venus holds a mirror that allows you to see yourself in all your flawed beauty. Do not become caught in its spell. After a quick glance, take the mirror with you and return to the battlefield, that you may reveal to others who they are becoming. Then you will no longer have a use for your sword. I love that. I love that. So the more you have gone through in life, and what's brought you here, all those struggles that we go through, that battle is actually our inner battle, where we're fighting against reality. We always think there's all these supposed to's and all these shoulds and all these things that have to happen, and when they don't, it challenges our beliefs about others, the world, but mainly it challenges our beliefs about ourself and all those self-beliefs that we have. So as that mirror reflects back to us and shows us more and more the beauty we are when we let go of this idea that there's flaws. We are these perfect beings made of unconditional love. We're powerful, eternal, supernatural. We're made of unconditional love. That's who we are, who we really are. But these characters, these facades we've taken on in this lifetime, where we, feel we have to defend who we are and we have to defend our belief about things. When we release all that and we come back to that unconditional love inside us, that allows us to return to that battlefield, and we can simply just love, allow people to love. Because if we believed what they believed, we would act the way that they act. If we had the life that they had, we would have the beliefs that they have and would be acting the way they had. The same way they look at us and think we're crazy. But if they lived our life and they believed what we believed, they'd be acting the same way we are. So as we let go of all those conditions of who we think we're supposed to be in order to be lovable and acceptable, that unconditional love takes over our life, and it allows us to be so accepting and loving of ourselves when we look into that reflection in that pond. But it also allows us to release everyone else from all those battles that we want to have with them to prove that we're right and our truth is truer, and they need to believe what we believe, you know. Next, I want to pull a card here from the Native Spirit deck and just get an additional message for us. Additional message do you have for those that chose number 1, please? It's a circle of life. I won't sing that for you. Sorry for the glare there. There we go. But I love that. Look at the spirals and the circles going to the middle there. And see what message comes with that card here. So the circle of life, it means all things are possible. Stand in your center and be open. The 4 winds are bringing your dreams to fruition. Embrace and accept where you are in the great circle of life. Bounty and abundance are flowing to you. If you've had relationship or financial challenges, things are about to change. Yay, good news. Your native spirit wants you to know that the circle of life, called the medicine wheel in the Native American tradition, symbolizes a cosmology that honors all circles of life. Those in Western cultures tend to see life as linear. However, those in indigenous cultures see all life as a circle. When this card chooses you, it's time to honor and cherish all aspects of the Great Circle. All parts of the journey have beauty and grace. There's beauty in the rising sun, just as there is in the setting sun. To only revel in the rising sun and to mean times of endings depletes your energy. Choose what is, and you become a master of the universe, or at least of your own personal universe. I love that. And it gives you a journey for this card. It says, create a medicine wheel for yourself. It can be as simple as creating a circle of stones that you place on your desk, or making a circle of stones or pine cones that you lay outdoors. As you place each part of the circle, hold the intent that you're honoring all aspects of your life. And I love that. That fits so much into this card, like we were talking about with the unconditional, letting go of all the supposed tos, all those, like it said, the linear things, like, no, this is the way, this is the only way, but being open and allowing unconditional love to, rule what you're thinking, rule what you're believing, rule what you're doing. And that just frees it up, so you stand in the middle and just allow all the outer to exist and take it all in and just allow it to be. You don't have to battle it. I love it. Love that. And I'm going to pull some cards here from the Light Seer's Tarot just to get some clarification or some additional messages, whatever comes through here. What additional messages do you have for those that chose the New Moon and Aries card? Okay, I feel like maybe one more. So you got the Hermit, which I love this because you can see that they're floating up above there. Here's the path down below, and here's even the lantern over here, which is usually the star, hope and enlightenment. So they have found the star within themselves here, which I love because in, like I mentioned, going into the garden alone, the Hermit really is about spending some quality time with you, looking within, because within you can see that that is where all this light, all this star exists. It's not just in the lantern, but you discover that the light comes from within you, that you have everything you need sitting right there within yourself. And I love that. That's so perfect. An Ace of Pentacles. I kind of look, this kind of reminds me of like a medicine wheel, you know, the pentacle, but it's about getting grounded. You can see the roots here, and this is the Ace of Pentacles, so it has all these roots that are just ready to be planted, ready to be put into new ground. And with the new moon, of course, as I talked about in the beginning, it's about restarts. It's about, you know, from the last moon, full moon in Aries, that was a time of letting things go, of getting things cleared out of the, you know, the field, so that it can be all uprooted and tilled, and get all that under, you know, nourishment stuff brought to the top, so that you can plant the new seeds of the new restart, of the new dreams that you have, the new journey to begin, because it's a whole new cycle. We've got a full year around all the astrology, and now we're back into it again. Loving that for you. And then you got the King of Pentacles, which what I love about this King of Pentacles, you can kind of see him here. He's got his dog. He's sitting relaxed. You can tell the gray hair, and he's got his home, and he's got that content look on his face. You know, he's this represents that he got everything on the external world was balanced. He was able to achieve and just look at all those external things, and that, you know, this is like the beginnings and towards the end of it all. It's like, what is next? What else do you have, you know, to learn? What else do you want to learn? This is also going to represent someone who has achieved all those things that you can even look at as a mentor. You might have someone in your life, and it could be male or female, you know, just because it says king doesn't mean that it has to be a male. But it's someone who you can really see that they're grounded and that they're calm. You know, they're the ones that have been able to achieve this, standing in the middle, you know, of this circle, standing in the middle of the storm of life, and being able to navigate the storms, and being able to understand what's important and what's not, you know, how to manifest things in their life by letting go of things, by pursuing things and keeping going, even when they felt like giving up. They know, and they're able to give you advice. So if you have someone in life that, or if that's you, you know, tap into that piece of you and just know that you know when you need to push something, and when you need to let something go. You know, same thing with the full moon cycles. You know, there's a time that, you know, you plant with a new moon and things grow, and they get to the harvest at the full moon, and then you know what of the harvest you're going to take, what else you need to let to continue to grow because it's not ripe yet, what you need to rip out to make room for new growth at the next you know, new moon. So but I love this message for you. And then last, I'm going to pull a card here from the Sweet Dreams little cards here. I love these little cards. And just see what last little message that the creator has for those that chose the New Moon in Aries card. Great. Okay. And I love that these have little stars on them because, you know, like you found the star within you. So these are, you know, great messages here. And this one says, joy. I follow my bliss and accept limitless joy. So with what you're pursuing, with this Ace of Pentacles, don't plant just for the sake of planting. Plant things that are going to bring you joy. Something that I learned last year, just with everything that hit all over the world, and especially everything else in the United States, just with political stuff and racial injustices, and just everything that's been going on, is that why wait? What are you waiting for to enjoy life and choose to enjoy life? Choose the things that bring you joy. That is the spark of life. That is, when you look inside you and you find, a reason to be joyful for no reason at all, then no one can take it away from you. Just choose joy and choose to do those things that just make your heart leap in life. What are we waiting for? To die? No, live. Don't exist, live. And then you got messages. I'm receiving powerful messages from my guides right now. I trust my feelings. So I love that as well. Really getting alone, getting quiet, in that place of quiet and peace and unconditional love. That's when you can hear those messages, those whispers of love is what I call them. Because the more we're focusing on unconditional love, peace, joy, and laughter, the higher our love vibration is, and the more you can hear from the other side all those love whispers, because that's the language they speak. But if we're out battling, we're out here trying to defend, and like I mentioned, we're not outside that garden, we're on the battlefield. All we hear is that loud noise that is out there. So returning to this garden of love, returning to that inner, most place within us, we're open to hear all those messages of love there. Wow, I really like this for you. So thank you for allowing me to bring these messages to you. As always, I appreciate any support that you can give me with any likes, shares, or subscribes to my channel. It just helps spread the love there. So if you feel like doing that, I definitely appreciate that. And I hope this brought a little bit of joy into your day, And until next time, just know that I love you. You take care now. If you chose reading number 2, which is the full moon in Aries, then this reading is for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck and see what messages we have. But before we start, I just love to thank the Creator for your unconditional love, and thank you for being here with us. We are so grateful. We also welcome all our guardian angels, our spirit guides, our loved ones who are on the other side, our ancestors, and all those other magical beings of unconditional love that are on the other side of the veil. We so appreciate your love, and we invite you to be here with us, and we thank you. All right. Let's use a good shuffle here. And if you didn't listen to the beginning, the last full moon in Aries was back on October 1st of 2020. So whatever you've been kind of releasing and letting go, or what's been slowly being taken out of your life since then, this is the time for the restart. So this message is probably going to include on what can be restarted now, and in place of, those crops that have been removed from that field, that, the harvest came at the full moon. Start taking things away and clearing away the old stuff, that, the old plants, and tilling the ground, getting ready for the new. So we'll take a look here and see what message do we have for those that chose card number 2, please. For the full moon in Aries. Okay. Nope, they said no, not those yet. Patience. I'm eager. I want to know the messages. Yes, I know it's worth the wait. Okay, there we go. You actually get 2 cards here. The first one is the Fool's Embrace, Transmuting Pain. That's Master card number 22. Take a look here. Love the imagery on these cards. I'll put that one there. And the other one was Covenant, Sacred Contract number 7. So I love that one too. Beautiful. All right, let's see what messages came here. We're going to start with number 7 first. And that's about commitment, sacred contract, the greater good. So you're being invited now by the universe to enter into a sacred contract. The covenant card may also be a call to recognize that an ancient agreement you made with Spirit needs to be renewed or canceled and torn up. Is an opportunity showing up right now that is full of promise, but you are unable to sign and seal the deal and commit to it? The reason is that it needs to be elevated to a sacred covenant. A covenant must be founded on the truth, not your truth or his truth or her truth, but a greater capital T truth that takes the destiny of all into account. The covenant is not about your agenda only. Spirit must be invited to come to the table as guarantor of the good faith of all and to ensure that the direction you are embarking in will be for the greater good. It's important that you understand what you're signing up for. Be sure to read the fine print so as not to commit to something you will soon regret or that you'll compromise your integrity. Do not hesitate to pull all your own cards. Do not hesitate to put all your own cards on the table so that your motives and desires are transparent and nothing is left in darkness. When shadow elements remain hidden, the covenant breaks down and becomes a contract with an unspoken dark side that is inevitably fulfilled. Yikes. Yep. So I love that, though, about, in this day and age, it's almost like, the old days when you knew when you were going to go to purchase a car that you had to underbid by a whole bunch so that when they do the hire that you'll actually end up in the middle where you want, instead of just coming forward and saying, this is what I'm willing to pay, this is, what I want, and and just letting, trust that things go unfold perfectly instead of feeling that you have to connive and work and hide and manipulate things. Manipulate is a big word, manipulate things to get what you want. I love how it's talking about it's not just your needs or your truth, or the other person's truth, but it's the higher truth. And so becoming still and opening up and listening, for this full moon, what needs to be let go, what needs to be torn up, what needs to be renewed, and look into that. I love it. Now let's look at number 22 here. The Fool's Embrace. So this is transmuting pain, allowing life to love you, the experience of Boland. That's Bothlland. Let's see what that means. The pain of life is sometimes unbearable. Ain't that the truth? When we're in it, we think that pain, that loss, that betrayal will always be woven through our continuity of existence. We're kept hostage by the way we identify with the pain and what we make it mean. If we let it, it becomes etched into us like a tattoo. No matter where on the spectrum of pain you find yourself now, whether it be mild disappointment or searing loss, it's time to make peace with it. Befriend it, rather than resisting it, running from it, or judging it as bad or unfair or hostile. Can you see the gift that is here? Surrender to the Fool's Embrace, allowing the truth to envelop you in love and compassion. What if you could learn something amazing from this? What is truly yours will not pass you by. Something better and perfect for you is waiting elsewhere. If you could come to terms with the liberation and freedom inherent in loss, your broken heart might open up to a greater sense of humanity and compassion. As in the narrative of tarot, the Fool will be at the beginning of your life's adventure and at the end when you've integrated all the wisdom you've accumulated along the journey. He will never let you down or lie to you. He will, however, teach you how to revel in both the beauty and desperation of life. Both and this and that will always be true. Remember, the pearl can't be created without the gritty sand causing discomfort and acting as a catalyst in the oyster. Your pearl is discovered in radical acceptance that everything has value. All is well now and will be well. Remember that today, and as you feel the fool's embrace. I love that. And it's such a wonderful thing because, the tarot does have the Fool as the 0 card. It's where it all starts. It's like where our starting off point when we're jumping into this lifetime, and with all the experience and all the adventures that we wanted to go through, they all unfold, teaching us who we are by showing us who we're not, by showing us that, that our true essence, back to the Fool before we came down to the earth, were these powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love. And all of these experiences we go through in life are all about teaching us about who we are, by experiencing all these opposites and these contrasts of who we're not. And then we come back to the Fool again in the end, how we're born from a soul is how we return in the end, and we bring all that wisdom and awareness and experience back with us. I also love how it talked about, that, the pain of letting things go like this. We might have to walk away from this deal, this contract, if it doesn't, match up to what we need. Kind of like the example I gave. If you, told the salesperson, this is what I want to spend per month for a car, this is what I want, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, sorry, can't help you. No, it'll have to be double that. You can walk away, but knowing that there is better things in store for you. So if it doesn't unfold the way you want, just know that there's more coming that is more perfect for you, that is more fitting to the experiences that you wanted. All right, I'm going to pull a card here from the Nature Spirit deck. Let's see what additional message that we have here. I love the master number 22 for me. Like the 11 is, for me, is like we master our ego and, how to try to, work through all these, this human experience as we're on there. But the 22 is when we realize that there's this duality within us. There's not just this human character that we play, but the actor, that Fool we were talking about, who we are before we jump and come into the adventure. That soul is our higher self, our eternal self. And then we realize that there's this, and there's also this little temporary character we play during this lifetime too. So I love that comes through that way with that duality. All right, and what additional message do you have for those that chose card number 2? Okay, there we go. You got the Spirit of Fire, which of course, Aries is a fire sign, so I love that here for us. Open right up to Spirit of Fire. Excellent. And it says, transformation. Take risks. Face your fears. Break out of old patterns and conventions. Just because you've always done something in the past doesn't mean that you need to continue to do it in the future. Try something new. Change your routines and habits. Reach out in new directions. The Thunderbird is rising in you. Out of the ashes comes new growth and new beginnings. Your native spirit wants you to know, in native cultures, fire was thought to be a gift from the Creator that carried the power of renewal. Renewal. I love it. Fire can maintain life, and it can destroy it. It is the warmth of the tribal fire, but it's also the thundering lightning bolt cast down from the sky. It can purify and transform, and it can annihilate. Fire represents your life force, the spark of life within you, and also the pure white light within you. The Spirit of Fire invites you to take some risks and face your fears. We often are reacting to situations because of preconditioned responses based on our self-generating definition of self. Every time you change an old habit, even changing to a different breakfast food, it helps you begin to step out of a limiting definition of self. Purification by fire creates transformation. Take care to keep your energy in balance. Fire that burns too brightly burns out, but a fire that's left to smolder dies. And the journey it gives you for this card is when you first awaken in the morning, focus on the emerging sunlight. Imagine that you are breathing in that light. Gaze unblinkingly into a candle flame and focus your awareness on the inner flame within you. By doing this, you're activating the spirit of fire that dwells within you and around you. Imagine yourself to be a single candle flame, a campfire, a forest fire, electricity, lightning, the sun, and stars. Affirm this. May the light of the sun illuminate my heart, that my heart may illuminate the world. Wow, I love that, especially in the beginning. If you didn't listen to the introduction area, I talked about, that this fire and this new moon in Aries is especially about restarts and, all that fire energy, the spark, but don't go too fast and knock everyone out of the way. I love how it says it in here though too, that, a fire that blazes too big burns out too. But when that is left to smolder and doesn't get any, more oxygen blown into it or, fuel added onto it, dissipates away. So I love that about the balance between all these cards here. Okay, next I'm going to pull some tarot here from the Light Seers Tarot. Just get some clarification. Or additional messages. All right, what additional messages do you have for those that chose card number 2, the full moon in Aries? Okay, so we've got 3 here. So let's start with this one here. And this is the Eight of Swords. The Swords is all about thoughts and beliefs, and I love how this is, when you're out here and you're witnessing who you are, from the second perspective. So for this one, I really feel the message just reinforces what we're talking about, the card number 22. Here's your higher soul, the witnesser of your life. And you can actually look and see that how, you're blinded and feel trapped by your thoughts and your beliefs about this lifetime and what life means. But when you're able to look from a higher perspective, from an external point of view, and just look into the mirror and go, okay, I understand what's going on. And, you're not in, when you're believing this, you're in fight or flight mode, because you just, it's like the movie Birds. You're being attacked, you're being confined by all these, birds. They're trapping you, and entangling you with all those strings and all those things. But when you step outside of yourself and realize who you really are, you can look at it as, okay, this is not me. This is just something that I'm believing or thoughts that are coming through my head. I don't have to let them land there and entrap me. I can let them come and go and not act on them, not believe on them. And then you have the Ten of Wands. What I love about this is with these cards, you see this long path that you've been on. The Three of Wands, which are the 3 wands that are there, are all about, the Ace of Wands, which you hold still here in your hand, is when you have that spark to start something new. The Two of Wands is when you start doing the planning and, this is what I'm going to do, where I'm going to head to. The Three of Wands is when you reach the shores, like you're planning to go surfing and you planned, how you got from the middle of dry land all the way to the sea, and you got there. And then the Three of Wands is about jumping out and doing something you haven't done before, and you get out there and you do it. And then the rest of the journey is about understanding what that spark brings and All those, like I mentioned before, all those experiences you have as the Fool, you gain all those, and you're carrying all those, and you have all that experience you're taking with you. And the Ten of Wands is, you know what? You're done. You know, the Nine of Wands is like you're almost to the end. Don't give up. And the Ten of Wands is, all right, you made it. Now it's time to let things go. It's time to unpack the ox. You know, it's kind of like this whole renewal energy there, because then you go back to a new Ace of Wands. You're still carrying the Ace of Wands in your hand here, you know. So now you get to let go and start something new. What are you going to renew, or what are you going to, you know, start a new contract to do something different and new and exciting in your life, you know? So you're pretty much like, okay, I've done all I can on this path, you know, this path here. What's next? What's next? So it's all about, I love it. It's all about the renewal here. And I really feel, you know, some of this has to do with your beliefs of what you think what you can do and what you're supposed to do, and to question those thoughts, question those things that you feel are your blocks, the things that you feel are constricting you, and just ask yourself, is that really true? Am I really not able to do that? Or do I really want to do what I think everyone is telling me I'm supposed to do? You know, let me question that, because you're tired. It's not bringing you that oomph anymore. You're ready for a new spark, for newness. And then you have the Four of Swords, which this is about, you know, sitting with your thoughts, resting in them. You know, I love how you can see how the heart here, and it's all connected to you. It's encasing you there. I always am reminded of this story I heard about eagle's nest, you know, because an eagle's nest, when they start to build it, it looks like this all out here. It's all scraggly and pointy and pokey, and but then they bring in all the soft stuff that fills up the nest, and they line the nest because they're going to lay eggs in there, and it needs to be, you know, comfortable and not, you know, dangerous where it's poking. So, you know, it's kind of filled with all that love and filled with all that care. And then, you know, they lay the eggs, and then they, you know, sit on them, and then they hatch, and then the little eaglets grow, and they bring food. But eventually, when the eaglet is to the place where it needs to be able to fly, or it's going to end up dying because they're not going to, you know, take care of it, and, you know, make it a bed and breakfast where they always bring in all the food and everything for the little eaglet, they start ripping away all the comfortable things in there to make it more comfortable to jump and fly than to remain in this pokey and uncomfortable place. So I love that, you know, this Four of Swords is fitting into all this, where it's like, yes, you're having a time to reflect on your beliefs, because the swords, again, are all about your thoughts and your beliefs, but you're being made to feel uncomfortable for your benefit, to make you stronger, because it's time to fly. It's time to, you know, as it becomes more and more uncomfortable, you know, the feelings of being uncomfortable and staying where you are outweigh the fear of the unknown at some point. And when that happens, you'll know it, because you will be like, it's very comfortable. Well, I wouldn't maybe say very comfortable, but it's more comfortable for you to make the leap than to remain where you're at. So I love that. And next, I'm going to pull a card here from Sweet Dreams. And oh, like Sweet Dreams. Oh. Let's see what final message that the Creator has for you. That shows card number 2 for the Aries full moon. Okay. Any others? One more pass here. Okay, I feel this one was wanting to jump out here. Okay, and you got the Ask for Help card here. So I am willing to receive help from the universe whenever and however it happens. And I love that, because, you know, if you don't know, you know, it's like if you're so caught up in these emotions and these feelings of, I don't know what, you know, I'm supposed to do. I just know everyone's telling me to do something, but but I don't want to do that. What else could I be doing with my life or in this situation? Just ask for help, ask for clarity. What I love is that, in my life, whenever I'm like, I don't know what decision to make, the Creator would tell me, well, then you don't have all the information you need yet, so just wait. And I'm like, but what if I wait and the situation passes me by? And it's like, well, if you don't know what you want to decide, don't make the leap, because then that's not for you. It kind of comes back to this whole situation we're talking about. If that salesperson, you told them how much you wanted to spend, what kind of car you wanted, all the blah blah blah, and they're like, okay, well, we're not sure if we're able to do that for you or not. We only can offer you this higher price. And you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know if I want to pay that higher price. I really want to pay that lower price. I'm not sure. And if you're not sure, then you don't make movement on it, right? You just allow more information to come, because if something doesn't work out in a situation, it's happening for you because something better and more appropriate for you or more beneficial to your experiences here will come for you. And then some more support here. I surround myself with those who support my vision and share my values. So I love this. Ask for help, and you surround yourself with this support. And if you don't have people in your life that you feel you can do this, you can just, again, ask the Creator, to bring those people to you, to make you aware of those people. If you're looking for human, physical plane support, but you always have all, the Creator, all your guardian angels, your spirit guides, just all that myriad of, beings of unconditional love on the other side. I mean, they're there just cheering you on, there to support you. And all you have to do is ask. They honor our free will. So each morning I try to remember, as soon as I remember it, to just invite the Creator and all the Creator's posse of, all those beautiful beings on the other side of unconditional love. I invite them into my life to please, come in, influence my life, meddle with it, whatever's for my highest experience, for my highest love vibration, bring that in. And please, I invite you, let's co-create, come in, do this. So, it really makes a difference. I mean, they won't do anything outside of what we agreed to before we came down here in that full, when we were that full before we came down, we were like, this is what wanted to happen. Like, okay, we'll make that happen. But while we're here, we can still ask for more support and more intervention and more guidance while we're here as well. So never be afraid to ask. They're loving beings and they never say no. Well, I hope this brought a little bit of joy into your life today. As always, I appreciate any support you can give with any likes, shares, or subscribes. It just helps out the channel, helps spread the love. So if you want to do that, thank you very much. And thank you for taking the time to listen to the reading. I do appreciate you so much. And please know that I love you. You take care now. All right. And for those of you that chose reading number 3, which is the complete new moon, then this reading is for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. See what messages we have. And before I jump into doing that, I just always love to thank the Creator for being here with us. We thank you for your unconditional love. We're so grateful. We also thank all our guardian angels and our spirit guides, all our loved ones who've gone to the other side, our ancestors, and all those just large group of magical, unconditionally loving beings on the other side. We thank you, we appreciate you, and we invite you all to be here. All right. Let's see what message we have for those of you that chose number 3, the new moon. always love the new moon message of, that even when the moon is dark from our viewpoint on Earth where we're looking at it, the new moon is when the moon isn't standing in between us and the sun. So on the other side of the moon, it is getting some sun, even though we can't see it, right? So it's just, even though we don't see the light, it is still there. It's like on a cloudy day, the sun is still shining. We just don't see it because it's above the clouds. All right, so what first message do we have for those that chose card number 3, please? Those that chose the new moon card. Okay, there we go. And I love this card here. It's Stranger, Curiosity. It also reminds me of the Magician card in the tarot there. I'll just put that right here. We'll see what message we have. That's 53. So this is the other, capital O-T-H-E-R, moving past fear of differences, curiosity, and acceptance. So the stranger moves through the world in a shroud of darkness that often elicits fear, rejection, and uncertainty as the danger of the unknown defines its very presence. Yes, there is a veil of separation between you. Look closer and summon the courage to remain open to what you might find. You may be conditioned to look only for what mirrors what is safe and known to you, refusing to entertain any concept of other beyond something to fear. In order to broaden your world and your experience of it, you must refute the illusion that sameness is the only way. Nothing you expect externally matches up with the other, and you're challenged by your own inexperience. But don't miss this opportunity for learning. Something extraordinary is being offered to you now if you remain curious and teachable. Allow the newness to envelop you as you explore the possibilities. This is a departure from your expectations. But the stranger has come to invite you to dance to a new music, a new tempo, a new sensation that will add more dimension to you and what you create as a result. Now is the time to leave room for other points of view, other ways of seeing with humility and grace. This is a defining moment. Take the risk. Life is like a precious diamond with many facets, not just one. I love that. I kind of had this vision when I was reading that, just about how the internet has changed our world, right? I mean, before we used to live in small villages or small towns, small communities, and we kind of just all inherited and believed the same thing in that community. And that's why we didn't like when strangers would come to town. You ain't from around here, like in the movies, like the Westerns. You ain't from around here, are you? They didn't like strangers because they brought different ideas and different ways of doing things. That's my Western accent. But as, populations grew and cities grew and people moved from small towns to bigger cities, they introduced more ideas, and there was more ideas going around. And then when the internet came, you were able to have ideas from all over the world. And yeah, it brings, strife, and that's going to happen when differing points of view first come into people's scope, because they fear, you're shaking my foundation. These are my beliefs. If they're, wrong, if they're not the only way, then what else is wrong in my life, and who am I? And it questions all that and just rattles everyone's cage. It shakes the ground that they're standing on, and they don't like that. So we fight to defend our way. But what I love about it is it's like the new moon. If we step into the unknown and we are open to it, we can learn so much from each other. We don't necessarily have to take on everyone's point of view as our own, but we can be open to it and understand that that's where they're coming from, even to the point of agreeing to disagree. It's like, well, yeah, sure, that's the way you bake, fudge brownies, but this is the way we make fudge brownies, and this is the way I like them. You taste theirs, and you're like, they're good too. Or maybe you taste it, and you're like, oh my God, these are so much better. What did you do? Excuse me, they're so moist. And you learn something else that you bring into how you make your fudge brownies. So that's my example. Now I want fudge brownies. All right. And then next I'm going to pull a card here from the Native Spirit. Let's see what additional message we have. All right, what additional message do you have for those that chose card number 3 for the new moon, please? Okay. You got the Sweat Lodge here, which I love this, that looks like this is in the middle of the night, or at least at nighttime. Let's see what Sweat Lodge. Okay. So this card means to cleanse yourself, body, mind, and soul. Purify, clutter clear, let go of objects and relationships that no longer serve you. Purify your body, go within, meditate, talk to the Creator, give thanks. Your native spirit wants you to know that sweat lodges are small dome structures covered with skins, blankets, or mud in which very hot stones are placed in the center. Water is poured over the stones so that hot steam rises from the rocks. Thus, the sweat lodge, with its hot steam, is used for purification ceremonies as well as a place to commune with the divine. This card shows you to tell you that it's time to clear out the clutter in your life. Sometimes clutter can be things in your closet that you don't love or use, but sometimes clutter can be outmoded relationships or habits that no longer serve you. The clearer your inner and outer space becomes, the easier it will be to hear the sweet messages from your soul. And the journey it gives you for this card is sometimes this card chooses you when it's time to do some physical detoxification. Fast for a day, drink green juices, clear out some clutter. Love it, use it, or get rid of it. Even one small item can make a difference. And I love how this fits in to the message we were talking about here about being open to other thoughts and other beliefs as well, because what this tells you is, get rid of the clutter, the things that no longer serve you, the things that hold you back, the things that, I always had a saying when I was in the corporate life, your desk could be so cluttered with so much paperwork and things, or your inbox can become so full. I always used to tell people, clutter will kill you. You got to clean it out. Keep it as clean as possible. You can think as clear as possible then. So I love that. Right. And I'm going to pull some cards here from the Light Seers Tarot just to get some clarification or additional messages. Right, what additional messages do you have for card number 3, please? Okay. Any others? Okay, there we go. So the first one that came out is the King of Cups, and what I love about this card is Cups is all about the emotions, but the King of Cups, you'll see that he also has a crown hovering above his head where thoughts are, and the King of Cups is known to balance both the emotions with the thoughts. So it's really this place of coming into balancing the emotions, with thoughts. So fitting right in with the story that was unfolding with these cards here is that, you can sail upon the waters, letting the wind fill the sail, go where it may, allowing, things to come and things to go, allowing things to be. As I love, he's just so peaceful because he's in this place of allowing others to think what they want to think. He's at peace. His emotions aren't defensive. It's loving and accepting. And you can see the kind of all these rays shooting out from him too. That's that loving energy inside, that he's just come to this place where he's at peace with his emotions and his thoughts and the thoughts of others. He doesn't try to change others. He allows them to be just as he sits and is in this place of being here as well. I love that. It's a great picture. And then you have the Knight of Cups, which is all about acting on love. It shows someone here that is showing the romantical and, expressing love in a lot of different ways. And that is, what this card is basically saying is, find the love, find the peace, the balance between, and act on love. Allow love to flow. Don't act in defensiveness. It's not the Knight of, Swords that is all about act on your thoughts. This is about talking about acting from a place of love. So I love that. Just fits right in to this message here. Yep. Then you have the Two of Cups. You got cups. It's all about the emotions. Now this card can represent, another individual sharing love with another person, which doesn't need to be romantical. It just means that you're, embracing and sharing love with another individual, or, it could be one at a time, just different people that you're just expressing that love. But it also can represent that, this is the two of you that live inside you. You've got this physical being that you are walking upon the earth, and then you have your higher self, which is the real person that you are, the real being that you are, that powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. That is about becoming aware of that and connecting to it. So, some of us will ask, well, how do I do this? It's like, well, you've got to connect to your higher love, to your higher self, to the Creator, to all those unconditional loving beings. They're the ones that are the experts. They're the ones that can help us understand and connect to that divine love, that unconditional love. Not the conditional love of the world where, all these things need to be done in order for me to be lovable or love others. It's the unconditional love that I can love for no reason at all. And that's unconditional, because if there's one condition to being loved, that makes it conditional, don't it? But I love this. So, reach for that higher love. Reach for that higher love. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from the Sweet Dreams little deck here, just to get final messages. So for those that chose card number 3, what final messages do you have for them, please? Those that chose the new moon card number 3. Okay. Any others? Yep. Any others? Oop. All right. So the first card is peace. I create peace, prosperity, and joy in my life. And I love that's how you come to this place of peace, when you're letting go, when you're allowing, you're open to new thoughts, you're allowing new things to come in. You're not attacking that stranger, that strange thought or that strange belief or that strange person, that stranger that comes into your life. You're creating peace by being a peaceful person, right? Because you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. So if the world is at war, then that means that you're at war inside you. And you got destiny. My dreams show me that I am the co-creator of my life and destiny. Yep. So like I was saying, this is that you create peace, but you co-create peace. You can reach out to the creator and to those loving beings. I have a little sign by my desk every day that says, it just says co-create on it. And it means that I'm not the only one that has to create my life. I can, connect to that higher realm, to connect to the creator and ask every day, just, I would like help. They honor our free will. They won't meddle and mess with us unless we ask them to. Or, before we came down, we asked them to do certain things in our life, to learn certain things and experience certain things. But while we're here, we can still ask every day, just invite the creator and all those angels and all those other beings of unconditional love on the other side. I invite you to meddle in my life. Come and help me experience my love vibration at the highest level, and bring me those things that are best for me. And I invite you to do that, please. And you just release it. And when you realize you're co-creating your life with them, then one, you have someone else to blame. Just kidding. But you don't feel all that pressure that you have to find all the answers. They're our cheerleaders. They're just constantly telling us they love us and sending us love energy and giving us messages. And the quieter we get and the more open we become, I love how this is connecting to the divine, is something else we do in a sweat lodge, get into that place, get into that quietness, light a little fire, a little candle, and just sit with the creator and listen, fill yourself up with love, joy, laughter, and peace, because that's who we are and that's the language they speak. So I love this for you. Well, I hope this brought you a little bit of peace, love, and joy today. And as always, I appreciate any support you give me with any likes, shares, or subscribes for this channel. It just helps the channel grow and helps spread the love. So I definitely appreciate that. And thank you for taking time to listen to this reading. Until next time, just know that I love you. You take care.